So now, can you do what? Nah, just wait. I'm already mad now. Now that you got the frillies. Alright, here we go. It's lesson 1-2, alright? So if you're taking notes, and you should be taking notes, the question shouldn't be if you're taking notes, okay? Since you're taking notes, write section 1-2 on there. Can you see that alright? Yeah, it's not bad. And let's see what we got here. We're going to start with this first example. We're going to talk about the length of measurements. And this is starting to get into some real stuff like doing actual math and that kind of thing. Now, I figured I'd use this program on this because I didn't want to try to draw nice little rulers and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot easier to use this program. So here we go. It says find the length of AB, of line segments. And you know what I should have said first. Did we talk about line segments yesterday? I don't think we did we? We talked about just lines, right? And lines do what? They got arrows on the end. What does that indicate about the line? Keep going in all directions. Well, we also have a thing called line segments. And I probably should have talked about that before I pop this example up here, but that's okay. A line segment, it has a beginning and it has an end, okay? Uh-oh, what's all that stuff? I'll change to that, I guess. And, oh, good. Everything's still there. So a line segment, it has a beginning and it has an end. It doesn't keep on going in all directions. So if it doesn't keep on going, if it has a beginning and it has an end, we should be able to measure something like that, correct? As long as it's not, you know, way long. If it's like 1,000,000 miles long. But still, people measure that stuff, don't they? In light years and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, let's talk about where we live. If you have a beginning and you have an end, for the most part, we can measure it. And that's what we're going to talk about. If you look at this little symbol right here, where's the arrows? They're not on there. So what is that? What do you think that means then? It's not a line. It's a what? It's a line segment. That's right. Okay, you don't put little dots when you draw this thing out, this little symbol right here. You don't put little dots on the ends of this. Now, this line segment right here does have a dot on both ends to show that there's points. But when you do the little symbol to represent a line segment, you don't put the dots on it. Okay? So that would be a line segment. So we're finding the length of this line segment, and we're going to use this ruler. Now, sometimes rulers aren't always exactly accurate. What if what you're trying to measure is like in between the little hash marks? Well, sometimes we have to approximate, don't we? All right, and then so we might do that a little bit here. So we are in millimeters, and so we're going to measure this in millimeters. So there's 10, 20, 30, 40, and then what do you think? What do you think? About 42. All right, so let's see what that says. It's marked in millimeters, and it says it's closer to the 42 mark. I mean, it looks like it's right on it, doesn't it? Yes.
How do we write those first? How do you draw that?
Well, this is probably all in your book. Wait till I start writing stuff down. But you can write stuff like this. You could write line segment, has a beginning, has an end. You could write, this is the symbol for a line segment. Okay, stuff like that. So you could take notes on that. You don't have to write down every one of these things. You don't have to draw your own ruler or anything like that. Okay, but there are some little things that you could jot down. All right, so that was pretty easy, wasn't it? So there you go. So line segment AB is about 42 millimeters long. Everybody good with that? Let's do another one. Let's go centimeters. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And is that right there 5, or is that 4.5, or what is that? It's, well, that would be 4 1/4, right? And so where is this right here? It's about 4.5, isn't it? All right. So let's see what that is. So it says it's divided into fourths, and it's closer to the 4.5. Or you can put 4.5 either way. I have no problem with how you do that. Simple, isn't it? Finding the length. No big deal. All right. Let's keep going. This is just an example. What do you think? A, B, C, or D? B? All right, let's see what they say. And the bouncing ball? Oh. See, look, 1.8 is millimeters. 1.8 millimeters. Look what this is in. This is in centimeters, isn't it? So how many millimeters in 1 centimeter? Count them up. There's 10, right? There's 10 millimeters in that 1 centimeter. So this is what? It's closer to 2 centimeters, but I don't have 2 centimeters in here. This is 1.8 millimeters. Where would 1.8 millimeters be? It would be about right in there somewhere, wouldn't it? Okay? So we just have to be careful that we look at our units and what we're measuring things in. So it's about 18 millimeters. That was a little tricky, wasn't it? Okay. All right, let's do this one. It's in centimeters. Wow, this is easy. All right. All right, if we don't get this one right, we should just walk out now, shouldn't we? Okay, so there you go. Oh my goodness, this is so easy. Now this is in inches, okay? So there you go. It's about 3 inches. This is really tough, isn't it? All right, find the length of line segment FG. So look what we have. This would be the half mark right here, right? And these are all what? Quarters. So this would be about 2 3/4, or what'd you say? 2.75. All right, let's see what they say. Yeah, there's 2 3/4, or you could say 0.75 would be fine. No problem. You could use decimals if you want. All right. Here's a multiple choice. What do you think, real quick? Look what it's in. It's in inches. Everything's in inches. All right. There it is. 1.5. You got it? All right. Let's move on. What about this one?
2 1/4.
All right. Boing, boing, boing. Right. Follow the bouncing ball. Okay. This is what we're going to get into. So, I'll have this slide up. Then we'll change to me writing after this. We're going to talk about things that are between. A lot of times, are we listening? There's talking going on. A lot of times when we think about between, people, they kind of make an assumption that between means like halfway between. All right. So if I say here's point A and here's point B, and point C is between it, a lot of people automatically think, oh, it's exactly right in the middle. That doesn't necessarily mean that. If I have point A right here, well, let's do this. If I have point P right here and point Q right here, I could say M is between. Does it mean that it's necessarily dead halfway in between? No. Okay, it just means that P is on one side as Q is on the other. So if we were to take a look at the lengths of the segments, that's what we're talking about today, or the lengths of line segments. If I take PM, all right, and I take MQ, what do PM and MQ do with that whole line segment PQ? What could I say? They do what to it? They add up, right? Okay, big hint right there, okay? So they add up to be PQ. You follow me on that? So that's what this segment does. What if I did this? And we're going to do some examples like this in a second. What if I gave you the length of MQ? Let's say I said it was 2, all right? And I told you the length of PQ was 7. How would you find
5.
PM? It's 5. How would you find it, though? Not the answer. How would you find it? You would subtract, okay? Pretty simple, isn't it? No big deal. What if I told you that PM was 10 and MQ was 5? How do I find PQ? How do I find it? I add them up, okay? And of course, what would your answer be for that? 15. You follow me on that? No big deal. All right. I think we're ready to stop that. Yeah, let's just stop. Let's just keep going. Might as well use this. Easier for me than writing it all out. Let's take a look. It says find XZ. Now watch what they did. Where's that line segment thing over top of it? What's up with that?
It's not there.
Did they forget it? Was it? Did they make a mistake?
No,
Not
because
really.
the Y is not in there.
Well, the Y really doesn't have anything to do with this, but that little line, remember that little line over top that represented a segment? It's not there because of this. Before, if you look back on before, we said find the length of line segment XZ, and it had the word length in there. It said find the length of, and then XZ with a little line on top of it, all right? When you have 2 points and no line over top of it at all, that automatically means find the length of the segment. You hear what I just said? That's something you might want to jot down in your notes, okay? If you don't see a line over top of it, what does that mean? It means automatically find the length of the line segment. So they don't have to actually put the word in there, length. You with me? It just saves them a little bit of writing. So instead of saying find the length and write it all out of XZ, all they got to say is find XZ. That means find the length of it. Make sense? All right. So it's a subtle difference, very subtle difference, but that's how they describe that thing right there. All right. I'll tell you what. We'll end this and we'll start another one, and I'll write this stuff out so we can. So I'm just not too lazy. I don't want to be too lazy. All right. So let's get out of this, and let's go to this and stop it.